Cody Firearms Museum is one of 5 major museums, including a research library, at the Buffalo Bills Center of the West in Cody, Wyoming. One thing that people might not know about us is that we also have a renowned conservation department. And that conservation department is kind of a jack of all trades. They work on all kinds of artifacts from all 5 museums. But every once in a while, they get a phone call from another organization to work on something really exciting, like this Winchester Model 1873 lever-action rifle that's in front of me. Now, this gun has become incredibly famous in the past year. This is the Winchester Model 1873 that was found in a remote location at the Great Basin National Park in Nevada. This firearm was posted about by the Great Basin National Park, and the post instantly went viral, and it even made national news. We've been able to trace that this firearm was made over 100 years ago. But what we don't know is why the firearm was found the way it was found at the Great Basin National Park. And it's that mystery that has been really exciting for people. And people have rallied around that story, trying to come up with their own version of what may have happened to that firearm. We may never know what happened to the firearm, but that's kind of what makes it exciting. And it gives people an opportunity to formulate their own opinions and their own stories, which is probably why the gun has become so popular. Well, when this firearm came to us from the Great Basin National Park, the first thing we wanted to do was to check and make sure it wasn't loaded. The action on the firearm is actually frozen, so we had to do a wooden dowel test on the firearm. That involves taking a wooden dowel and putting it down the barrel of the gun and measuring the length of the barrel to the breech and seeing how far the wooden dowel could go. We did have a little bit of a discrepancy, and the dowel could not go all the way down to the breech. So we wanted to be safe, and so we actually contacted our hospital, our local hospital, right next door, and took the firearm to be x-rayed. We focused on this section of the firearm in the x-ray, and luckily it was not loaded. We do believe that there was some organic matter that may have built up over time while it was outside. But when we got the x-rays home and we were examining it, we noticed something that was peeking out over by the stock. And so we actually took the firearm back to be x-rayed, and we x-rayed just the stock, and we found this cartridge right here. The cartridge was actually embedded in the stock through the trap, and it is a .44 Winchester centerfire cartridge, a UMC cartridge, and we've been able to date it to about 1887 to 1911. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that the firearm has been out there that long. There may be a reason that the cartridge was put up in there and just forgotten about. So it's not really the best and most accurate way to definitively date the firearm. The next thing we wanted to do was stabilize the gun. A gun that's been outside in natural conditions and weather conditions had a bit of decay to it. And the most important thing when it comes to conserving a firearm is stabilization. And so we wanted to make sure that the firearm was able to be preserved for years to come. But we did not want to change the essence of the firearm. The essence of it is what's made it so popular. So the bulk of what we've done is consolidation of the wood. The wood was flaking when we got it, and so our conservator has been working with an adhesive to try to bind the wood so that we don't have as many issues with it flaking in the future. We're incredibly excited to have this firearm here, and we want to thank the National Park Service, the Great Basin National Park, for allowing us to work on their firearm and to also talk about the firearm on our social media and in the news, and also to display the gun. We will temporarily be displaying this firearm in the summer of 2015. We hope you get an opportunity to come out and see it, but if not, check us out online at centerofthewest.org or on our Facebook pages at Buffalo Bills Center of the West and Cody Firearms Museum. And if you don't catch it here, I bet you'll get a chance to see it at the Great Basin National Park.